likes me. Nobody likes me. But that's okay, because I don't like y'all anyway. Man, I don't like y'all anyway.
We need to pay attention to all this stuff. And don't muddy the waters. Don't let your mind get sidetracked. Because you need to remember that when, it's going to be time to vote again soon. So it's going to be local elections, all this stuff, everything, all these elections. You have to remember that the Republicans would rather collude with Russians than collude with Americans.
Them Staten Island niggas still puffing them dust blunt.
Donald Trump is a white supremacist who enables white supremacists. No lie. I mean, that's accurate. It's an accurate assessment of the situation.
Them Staten Island niggas still puffing them dust blunt.
Dragnets. How do they work?
Just say no. Yeah. Here's the problem with just saying no. You can go about your life trying not to do drugs, but you turn on the news and you see Wigmaster over there talking about public health emergencies. That's why drugs are hard to stop. Because of people like that. Big week. It's always a big week. Can't we please have an uneventful week? That's all I want. All I want is one.
Them Staten Island niggas still puffing them dust blunt.
Oh, Jay, why are you wearing that resist shirt? What are you resisting? Bunch of isms and trees. Bigotry, misogyny, racism, fascism, and sexism. The people here the people on the South Shore, in the rich neighborhoods, the richer neighborhoods, not the poor neighborhoods, are brought up on bigotry, hatred, and classification of, societal roles. Hey, yo! What goes on, peeps? Who's in your house? Dyze in your house. We are back. It is December 15th. We are back here with another edition of Dyze in your house. I am Jay Porks coming to you live from my house. I haven't named the studio yet. And that's probably going to be a process. That's going to take a while. Okay, some things went down this week. So let's just get a little bit into it. Let's get a little bit into the things that happened this week. It was a big week. It was the reckoning. But I just want to remind you guys that every week you can get Dyze in your house on YouTube at 6 o'clock. But not only that, but shortly after 6 o'clock, every Friday. Again, every Friday, shortly after 6 o'clock, that will be available on the podcast app. That's right, folks. You have an iPhone, it comes with your phone. It's in the iTunes store. If you have iTunes, you just open it up, podcast, you search J Porks, you search for East Coast Radio, you search Dyze in your house. Whatever you search related to that, to Dyze in your house, here on East Coast Radio, we are going to come up and you can hit subscribe and you can leave us a rating. You can review the show. You can share the show with your friends. You can tell people about it because this is what we do here. This is what we do here at East Coast Radio. Now we're gonna get a hashtag East Coast Radio going, but if you search hashtag East Coast Radio, it's not gonna come up. This is a process, and we are gonna get through it. What do they say in the NBA? Trust the process, right? And that's what we're gonna do. So I just wanna, on Monday, when you get the J Porks podcast, we are gonna talk about some new Eminem tracks. Revival is out. We are going to talk about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But as of now, I'm only with you for 20 minutes on Fridays, so I've got to spend that 20 minutes resisting. And let's big ups to the best prediction. The only prediction I've ever wanted to get wrong. The prediction I've wanted to get wrong the most ever in my life was when I predicted Roy Moore would win the Alabama Senate seat. And oh boy, we got help there. The black vote came out. That's right. It doesn't need to be Obama running for the black vote to come out. But now the only question is, for Democrats, now you had that big voter turnout. Now the question is, can you deliver for those voters who turned out for you? Because, like Charles Barkley said, I hate to agree with Charles Barkley, but the Democrats like to use, the black vote to get into office to do white power type things. And it's happened too much in the past. So what I'm hoping for is that with this new wave, with this reckoning that's happening, that, white people go to the back of the line and we get some minorities, we get some women, and we get them all up there representing us, representing our best interests. Because as Americans, that's what we are. We are everything. We are everything and nothing if we are not together. Now the thing is, the sad part about that, first of all, you could have hired like 5 of the greatest GOP campaign strategic minds and sent them to Alabama, and they couldn't have figured out how to lose that election. Roy Moore being the child molester might not have done him in. Him being the worst candidate in the world did him in. This is a guy that's been kicked out of being the Chief Justice twice. I heard a reporter from Alabama, John Archibald, was saying he's the guy that's in Alabama. I've been listening to him for the past 5 weeks since these Moore allegations happened. And he's the one who's been saying, listen, I think that Moore's going to win the whole time. And it came down to it, and Moore almost won. But he was saying that if Moore, the question was, how would Roy Moore react if he went to Congress and they didn't seat him on any committees, and they didn't, involve him in any proceedings? And you know what his answer was? Somebody who's been following the entire career of Roy Moore. He said Roy Moore doesn't like to govern. Roy Moore likes to disrupt. So wait a second. We have people who run for office that don't like to govern? That's the whole thing about the job. And then he said something else. He said if Roy Moore got kicked out of the Senate, he would use that as a platform for president. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you think you've heard the last of Roy Moore, then you have not taken a glimpse into the 2020 Republican primaries. Okay? He's going to be there. Paul Ryan's going to be there. Talk about that in a second. But yeah, it's cool. It's fantastic that the black vote came out and, voted strong for Doug Jones. But we really, as Democrats, need to somehow flip that white vote, a little bit more. Make that not as close as it was. Because it's a shame that somebody that raped a 14-year-old girl only lost by 22,000 votes. It's insanity. And it was so close. And Republicanism is strong. But the reckoning, it's a rebuke of the Bannonism, of the Trumpism. It's a rebuke. And we need to keep on it. Everything we've been doing, we need to continue. Keep making those phone calls. Keep doing hashtags. Keep tweeting. Keep posting on Facebook. Make your voice heard. Public opinion is now over 50% for impeachment. Let's go. Same thing with net neutrality. Net neutrality is not over. The FCC voted, but that thing is not over. So what you need to do is keep making the calls. Keep putting pressure on the officials who have to do with this in non-violent, calm ways. Articulate it to them. Have petitions. Have rallies. Same thing with the tax bill. The tax bill. Now they're gonna vote on this, but Doug Jones isn't in Washington yet, till January. Well, he's not. They're not confirming him until they vote on taxes. What is that? What's up with that? How is that fair? But Obama couldn't name Merrick Garland the Supreme Court justice like 8 months before he was done being president. They delayed that, but they won't delay the tax bill another week so we can get a vote. I thought you guys had the votes. Oh, Rubio. Did you see Rubio? Rubio says he's a no right now. Bull crap. There is no chance. Florida is full of rich white donors. Rich white Republican donors. There is no chance Marco Rubio votes no on the tax bill. Unless this is a different Marco Rubio. But I mean, this is the same guy. He's only doing this because no one else is voting no on it. So he wants to like, oh, okay, I need like $16 extra for this child care credit. And if we get that, we'll be fine. He's a definite yes. But no Jones, no vote is the hashtag we need to get trending. No Jones, no vote. And if you're in the greater DC area, you need to go down to Capitol Hill and you need to make your voice heard. Make a sign, wear a shirt, and protest. Scream it out. No Jones, no vote. No Jones, no vote. Because if you want to pass, if you have the House, if you have the executive, and you have the Senate, and you have a crappy tax bill, what you need to do is pass that crappy tax bill the right way. You have the majority of the votes. So just trust that enough of your party is down to screw the American people and go for it. And they need to get this tax bill done according to Paul Ryan, because this is Paul Ryan's only thing he has to do. He wants to get out in 18. He wants to step away from... He's not going to run for re-election in 18 because he has a serious chance of losing his seat. And as Speaker of the House, if you lost your seat in a midterm election, that would be really bad. That would look really bad on your political resume. So bad that it would crush his 2020 chances. Things that he's hoping could happen. Because if he runs in 2020, even if he was to run in 2020 and lose, he can still use the campaign to make some money to pay for his kids to go to college and stuff. So it all ties in. And he could run on the notion that he got the tax bill passed. It makes sense politically. The only thing that doesn't make sense is, you know, the way you want to just rip healthcare away from people that have it through a tax bill. Like, again, I said it a couple weeks ago, just get your crummy healthcare plan together and pass it. Don't sugarcoat it. Don't hide removing the individual mandate in the tax bill. That's thievery. That's trickery. I just realized that Doug Jones just evens out the Al Franken vote. Man, I was so mad at Gilly Beans, yo. Like, fam, seriously, like, I was so mad that Gilly Beans made Franken resign. She started that, Kirsten Gillibrand. I like calling her Gilly Beans because my girlfriend calls her Gilly Beans and it's funny. No, but seriously, like, I thought that was a political move that backfired. But the political move to goat Trump into that tweet was really savvy. Because it's like she knew he would say something. And in this climate of sexual assault, this guy said, now let's remember that Kirsten Gillibrand is a Democrat. So Trump tweets, she used to come to my office begging for campaign donations. And in parentheses, he writes, and would do anything for them. And would do anything for them. And he's called, what do you call her, a Clinton flunky or something? Used. Now let's see, why would Kirsten Gillibrand go around to Republicans asking for campaign donations if she's a Democrat? Well, the answer to that is that she wouldn't. And that this is another reminder that your boy, your fascist in chief, was registered a Democrat up until he decided to run for president. So you all throw up your Confederate flags and your isolationism, but this guy was a Hillary Clinton was at like 2 of his weddings. You know what I'm saying? So check this out. Speaking of Hillary Clinton, because I'm not going to remember to get to this on Jay Pork's podcast on Monday. I'm in the teacher's lounge the other day. I shit you not. This is real. I'm in the teacher's lounge the other day. I'm texting on my phone. My class, they're in 8th grade, so they really don't do much schoolwork, you know? So I get to chill. So I'm in the teacher's lounge. I got my frozen Snapple, because Snapple now comes in plastic bottles, which definitely isn't good for the environment. You know, something that definitely, you know, I'm not saying that Obama would have stopped Snapple from changing their bottles to plastic, but under an Obama administration, with the regulations on the environment and stuff, I think a company like Snapple would be harder pressed to change to plastic. But again, I don't know anything. Sitting there on my frozen Snapple, and this Republican ass cunt, she's sitting there. She works in pre-K or whatever, or universal pre-K. So she pays for like her kids to go to high school, Catholic high school, and then she has to come to work at a Catholic school. But since it's in the universal pre-K class, all those kids are free. So she looks at them like with hatred all day, like, ooh, you get free school. My kid, I had to pay for pre-K. Well, guess what? That's too freaking bad. Maybe you shouldn't have been so old. When you were a kid, there were no cell phones either. When I was 10, I had a beeper. Times change. So anyway, she's sitting there. So she's looking at her phone, scrolling, and she says, well, I guess there's not going to be any actors left in Hollywood. Not in a way where, oh, it's disgusting that all these men are creeps. But she said it in a way like, these women should be quiet already, you know? That was like the tone. The tone was like, oh, enough already with these women. And she's a woman. She goes, you know something? I hate Trump, and I hate Hillary. But, and first of all, she doesn't hate Trump. She went in there and voted for Trump, and anything people say after that is a lie. I know she voted for Trump. She told me she did. But anyway, she says, I hate Trump and I hate Hillary. But you know something? Where's Hillary been? Where has she been? So I'm, like, just continuously scrolling on my phone because I don't think she's talking to me. And she's like, you know, Jason? And I'm like, Hillary? She's like, she's got the book. She's on Twitter. I saw her tweet yesterday about, you know, Gilly beans. And she's like, you know, Jason, I don't like either of them, but she's not around, and I wouldn't be surprised if she's behind all of this. Behind all of what? Behind the sexual allegations against men? So not only did she have the den of children in the pizza shop, but she also goes around to rich, powerful men and convinces them to sexually assault women and masturbate in front of women for no reason. I still need somebody to explain to me the masturbating in front of women. What does that do? What kind of faces do you want these girls to see you make? You know what I'm saying? I mean, listen, sexual assault is messed up, you know? And it's something that needs to be ridden from our society. A reckoning. Again, the reckoning is coming. Politically, socially. But, like, sexual assault is one thing, but to stand across the room, take off all of your clothes, and masturbate in front of women, it's beyond weird to me. It's beyond weird. And I just can't get off. But, like, in my head, how stupid are people? These are people that, these people have to be hooked to Fox News like 23 hours a day. Like, listen, I know I watch a lot of MSNBC, and people think that's crazy. But you know what? At least MSNBC has a bunch of people that, you know, used to identify as Republicans. You know what I'm saying? Or they have Republicans on saying stuff I don't agree with. Fox News is trying to, is labeling the KGB, the FBI as the KGB. The KGB! You know, the Russian spy organization that Vladimir Putin was a part of. You know, Vladimir Putin, the guy Trump called the other day, yesterday, and thanked for praising the U.S. economy. The economy, by the way, which is not necessarily doing well. The stock market's doing well, but that is not an indication on how the average family is doing in America. It's not at all an indication, and the stock market is based on feeling. Stocks are based on, like, how people feel. Like, when Flynn got indicted, when Flynn pled guilty, stocks went down. We're going to talk a lot, we're going to get into more of the Russia probe, and that's the thing, like, the ongoing Russia probe is happening, right? They're digging into this, and in the middle of all this, Trump just calls Putin and says, thanks, man. Like, was anybody else in the room? And, like, the FBI, listen, I'm not a law enforcement guy. I'm not a Blue Lives Matter guy, you know what I mean? I mean, listen, cops have their place in the world, you know? But I do feel that there are times where cops overstep. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a law enforcement guy. But to call the FBI, like, the Republicans are slandering the FBI. As if the FBI doesn't have access to all of their stuff. Like, and it's just the smear campaign. It's from Comey, because he was investigating Russia. Now, I told you, they're gearing up this Mueller firing. Rosenstein said he's not going to fire Mueller. Sure he does. And all these people that are like, well, if Mueller gets fired, it's going to be like the Saturday Night Massacre, and that's when something's going to have to happen. Says who? What norms have been set here? There is no precedent for this. Precedent for this. Did I say it right? Yeah, there isn't. We are in a constitutional crisis that has never been reached before. We are the country that goes and hacks other countries' elections. That doesn't happen to us. And now that it happened, we got an investigation going on. And in the midst of all this investigation, instead of just, you know, not call Vladimir Putin and tell him thank you, he calls Vladimir Putin and tells him thank you. He's an this guy is like Woody Woodpecker. I just don't. It's sick and twisted behavior going on. And at least we got Doug Jones. Doug Jones, a man who prosecuted Ku Klux Klan members who blew up a church in 1960. Prosecuted them. Sent them to jail. Not to Congress. Not to the White House. Sent them to jail. And one more thing. Before I get up on out of here. I'm over 20 minutes. I know. I'm sorry. I promised you guys this would be short. But as someone who's Jewish, I need to say this. When Roy Moore's wife said we have a lawyer that's a Jew, what is the fascination with saying Jew? Like, why can't we say the whole word? You know, like, I don't see people going around calling them calves, calling them muzz, you know? Calling them hymns, you know? They don't shorten any other term for religion, you know, or religion. They call them Catholic people, Christian people, Muslim people, Hindu people. They're Jewish people. We are Jewish people. We're not Jews. I mean, when you say Jew, oh, he's a Jew. Now, you might not be being hateful on purpose, but I can feel that subconscious hatred. That something in you disapproves of it. Like, so anybody who says Jew, I would just ask you to do me a favor and say the whole word next time. He's Jewish. Like Roy Moore, sorry. Unlike Roy Moore's wife. But like, Roy Moore's wife, who looks like a poor woman's version of Tammy Faye Baker. But, it's a 90s joke. But, when Doug Jones was giving his victory speech, he was like, to all my Jewish friends. He didn't say to all my Jews. Shout outs to the Jews. You know, I just don't. It's just it's something that Alison Brie's character said on Community, in the first season. She was like, say the whole word next time. And it stuck with me, and I've always been thinking about it. Like, you have to say the whole, just, it's not that hard. It's an extra syllable-ish. Jewish. That's it. Jewish. That's it. Just have to say it. What, like, don't, keep my people's names out your mouth. You know what I'm saying? All right. This is only supposed to be 20 minutes. I have to get out of here. Before I do, let me remind you, follow me on Twitter, @JPorks. Stay tuned for the J Porks podcast coming to you on Monday. That's going to be out on the Dare Network. You can get that on iTunes as well. Look for The Andy Dare Show. Look for Dare Network on iTunes, or go to andydare.com Monday evening. You can, again, if you follow me on Twitter, I'll tweet out all the links. Also, Dyze in Your House on Snapchat. We will be getting involved there. You can snap me. Dyze in Your House. That should be interesting. I do like cat filters, and I like the voice changer things. If you want me to do a whole podcast and a voice changer cat filter, all you have to do is hit me on Twitter @JPorks and tell me what the secret phrase that pays was this week. All right? J Porks. Dyze in Your House. Resist. Oh man, I'm still on? Gosh darn it.